Welcome again to the big match, and this is our lineup on the programme today for you. The first match is Derby County against Manchester United. The game is one of the best finishes of the season, and some controversy to go with it. Also today, Luton Town against Notts County, so important in the second division, and finally back to the first division for Tottenham against Southampton. Also today, we should be meeting a great Tottenham star from the past, Jimmy Greaves. What's he doing now, and what does he think of the present Spurs side? In fact, Jimmy, by coincidence, gets a mention in our special feature where we look back at football 10 years ago this month, as does George Best, because today we remember a cup tie where George scored 6 times.
It's Crerand. Best. Here's the record. There it is. Georgie Best.
And the rest you can see later, because now it's time for us to pick up the action as Derby County face George's old club, Manchester United. United with a chance to make up ground on Liverpool, who of course had their game called off. Important for them, and no less important for Derby County as they struggle at the other end of the table. The pictures are from ATV, and the commentator at the baseball ground is Hugh Johns.
Derby manager Colin Addison has had second thoughts about Roy McFarlane for this first vital game in February, and his comeback has been delayed for at least another week. So Dave Webb continues in the number 5 shirt, while Osgood returns to partner Webb. Dave Langan also wins a recall at right back. Up front, Derby are looking to Alan Bailey to start hitting the goals that made him a star at Cambridge and brought about a £400,000 transfer deal 3 weeks ago. Manchester United have just one problem with a side that has suffered only one First Division defeat in their last 9 matches, predictably at Anfield. And they're forced to make a change for the first time in 6 weeks. Ray Wilkins is injured, so Nikolai Jovanovic becomes the latest foreign import to play in British football. The Yugoslavian international from Red Star Belgrade, he cost £300,000 a couple of weeks ago. He's had less than 4 hours of practice games to work up any kind of understanding with United's players and their methods. So referee Derek Lloyd of Worcester gets us away. The red, dark red shirts of Manchester United, their white shorts attacking the goal, away to our left. The white jerseys and the dark blue shorts of Derby County. 2 linesmen out here today also from the Midlands, Peter Lancaster from Sutton Coldfield, John Saunders from Kidderminster. First free kick of the game goes to Derby County. Buckley takes it to Osgood. And here's Dave Langan getting his first kick since New Year's. Man United coming here with 3 away wins of 12 trips in the First Division this season. They've won at Villa, Spurs and Coventry. Lou Macari helps that on. There's Jovanovic getting his first touch. Here he goes now. The cross in across the goals. That was a nasty curling cross from the big Yugoslavian. Langan. Alan Bailey. Now Roger Davis. Langan. Barry Powell. Buckley. Back to Steve Powell. It's all going square. No penetration. Langan. Oh, a first-time shot on there for Jerry Daly. Oh, where were United then? Jerry Daly, former Old Trafford star. Right in the clear as that ball came in from Langan. Nobody picked him up. A free shot at goal and over the bar. Should have done better. And immediately United strike back through McElroy for Koppel. They got 4 on 3, and now the Derby players are getting back. And Koppel slowed it down a bit. Being chased by Osgood. Well, McCarty got a touch. And a terrible mess then by McKellar. Oh, dear, oh dear, that was panic stations for a moment. Well, it was little Lou McCarty who got that touch. McKellar wasn't too sure what was happening, touched it up on the bar, and it was a good job Webb was first to it for Derby. There's the corner. And McQueen gets there. The dangers of this big Scottish international. He came in a little bit late, surprised Derby. They didn't pick him up on that corner, and that looping header was only just over the bar. With McElroy now. McQueen for Houston. Jordan. And Langan covering. McElroy's throw for Jordan. Steve Powell has a look forward. There's nobody forward for Derby. Biley is breaking from inside his own half. Chased by Houston. Checks against him. A little touch in. Gets there. Beautiful. Barry Powell has scored his first goal since he came here from Coventry. And he's put Derby in the lead 1-0. 33 minutes of the first half gone. All started by the new signing, Alan Biley. A lovely curving cross from his left foot. United didn't get it away, and Barry Powell arrives on the far post with a punishing header. 1-0 then. Well, certainly Barry Powell will feel chuffed about that. And here's Barry Powell again. Davis off to Buckley. And a break immediately for United. That long punt out from Bailey picks up Jordan to the line. And the header inside and out, and Thomas will finish it up. No, he won't. McElroy again. But the goal's been given. The goal has been given from Sammy McElroy's header. Well, they're congratulating Mickey Thomas. But it seemed to me that the linesman signal down this side said that the ball in from Joe Jordan here now. We can see more clearly, perhaps. There's the header from McElroy. Is it over the line? No, it isn't. Here comes... Oh, it was that time from Mickey Thomas from well inside as McKellar kicked it out. So the goal goes down to Mickey Thomas. 1-1. 38 minutes. So 5 minutes after Derby took the lead. Manchester United strike back and make it 1-1. So Derby got a strike again now. And they'd love to do it just before half-time. Osgood. Nickel down for Koppel. Koppel taking on Buckley. Made it difficult for himself now. This ball back to Nickel. And McCurry drives it across the face of the goals. Off to Biley. And Webb. Beautiful ball, Langan. Empson's come down this right side. Buchan comes to him. Empson again. The curving ball. Koppel helps it on. That'll go for a throw-in to Derby County. Buckley. And can try it again. This time for Daly. Langan. Davis and Langan trying the 1-2. Well, they're appealing for a penalty. A challenge by McQueen, but referee Derek Lloyd won't have anything of it. And I tend to agree with him. Nice little bit of 1-2 work between Langan and Davis. There's Langan. A lunge from McQueen, but the ball had long gone. Jerry Daly then for Dave Webb. Biley against McQueen. Here comes Davis. Daly. Biley and Daly again. Here comes Biley to shoot. And a great save. A beauty from Gary Bailey. Alan Biley very nearly opening his account for his new club. Bringing a superb save from Gary Bailey. Lovely build-up with Daly and Biley. Daly, Biley, and then Bailey. There's Bailey's shot. There's Bailey's save. So referee Derek Lloyd has a look at his watch, points to the dressing room tunnel, and an entertaining first half of football here ends at the baseball ground. Barry Powell, having scored his first goal ever for Derby County, rubbed out by number 11 there, Mickey Thomas, who sends the teams in level at half-time. Derby County 1, Manchester United 1. So Derby County kick off, attacking the goal to our left. And that's Jovanovic being fouled. And the referee had given advantage and then decides no advantage had been taken by United, so the free kick given. Rain still drifting down as Jimmy Nicholl prepares to take this free kick. Goalkeeper's ball. Osgood. Bailey giving it a chase with McQueen. He certainly gave McQueen some hammer then. Here's Langan. Knocked out by Buchan. Steve Powell trying to deliver it back to Langan, and does. But Houston can get the clearance, only as far as Powell. Steve Powell. Macari back to Houston. Osgood. Daly giving it little stick over there, and all this time Alan Bailey is lying down injured just outside the box. Gordon McQueen attracting the referee's attention to him, but referee Lloyd letting play go on, and as the ball hits the halfway line, he says, okay, let's have some treatment for the lad. The worried faces of Colin Addison there, and his partner in management, John Newman. Aidan McCaffrey waiting to come on, the substitute. Colin Addison waiting to see Alan Bailey come off on a stretcher. There's Gordon McQueen attacking. Now Jovanovic. And they're staying away from him, and he lets the left foot go. Skidded only about a foot wide of the left-hand post. Mickey Jovanovic. Well, that would have been something if he'd got his name on the score sheet in his first game in British football. Just wide. Nicholl again. Jordan, and Empson is there. Skates away from Nicholl. Jerry Daly looks and finds Langan again attacking. Davis. Oh, a superb save. Oh, that really was a bit special by Gary Bailey. Wonderful header. And look at the grin on his face. He enjoyed that. This was a beautiful ball laid off from Daly. Langan crosses it perfectly. And now watch number 10, Davis, come in. Lovely touch. Hits the post, and Bailey's got it. Grimes, we've got a couple of minutes left, plus quite a lot of stoppage time, I would think, for the injury to Alan Bailey. Macari will lose that. Well, it's been a fighting, battling performance by Derby County. And it doesn't look as though it's going to get them very much more than just the 1 point. And they've still got to protect that for a few minutes yet. Davis, robbed by Grimes. Nicol, Coppell, Grimes. And there goes McElroy, and this is dangerous. Jordan coming in on the far post. And that will be a goal for McElroy. It's 2-1 Manchester United. That one break by McElroy has settled this match. Those are the travelling United supporters. There's about 8,000 of them here this afternoon. And they're well pleased. Grimes it was. Shifts this ball forward. McElroy going in the right side, which was always dangerous then. The ball across the face of the goals. Langan hooks it away, but that is a gift for Sammy McElroy. And it's 2-1. Well, 44 minutes on our watches. And once again, a sadness for Derby County. Jordan down. McElroy helps that back. Caffrey didn't get it clear. Jordan stabs it back to Grimes. McQueen. Long pass back, which Buchanan will, or Buchan rather, will complete. We've had 3 minutes of stoppage time. It was a long hold-up for Bailey. Mickey Thomas hoiks that in the air. Coppell is after it. Coppell past Langan, looking for the cross. Oh, own goal! Oh, that is a total tragedy. Well, that is unbelievable tragedy. Barry Powell, who until today hadn't scored a goal for Derby County, has now scored 2. One for Derby County, and ping, that one for Manchester United. That's 3-1. That is the end of the ball game, totally and completely. Derby County, just time for the kickoff, and the final whistle goes. The 8,000 travelling Manchester United supporters, well pleased. The team came back from being a goal down to Barry Powell. Equalised through Mickey Thomas, fought a grim battle in the second half. Went ahead through McElroy and now wrap it up 3-1 with a desperately unlucky own goal from Barry Powell. Sadness ahead, obviously, for Derby County.
Well, what a whirlwind finish there. Indeed, those 2 points now put Manchester United level at the top with Liverpool. Though Liverpool have a game in hand and a superior goal difference as well. And there was a moment of controversy over Manchester United's first goal. Did it actually cross the line? Joe Jordan playing the ball in here. And it's little Steve Coppell there with a good, powerful header. Unlucky to see that bounce back off the post. But here's Mickey Thomas coming in. And I think you'll see that the ball was, in fact, completely over the line by the time the Derby County goalkeeper scooped it back into play. But what exactly happened when Alan Bailey was injured and had to be carried off? A collision with Gordon McQueen, said Bailey afterwards. Well, we'll see them arrowed there, the two gentlemen, McQueen and Bailey. McQueen on the left and Bailey. The cameras quite properly, though, were following the play and now don't pick up the incident as Manchester United go forward into the attack. When the ball comes back again, you'll see that Mr. Bailey is on the floor there after that collision with Gordon McQueen. But coming up next, an important game in the second division as Luton Town face Notts County. Spurs against Southampton, a chance to meet Jimmy Greaves and a look back to football 10 years ago this month when George Best was in great scoring form, and that's after this break.
Big Match Part 3, production number 40025, recorded 3rd of the 2nd, 1980. This is take 1.
And welcome back to the big match. For our second match today, we feature Luton Town, challenging near the top of the 2nd Division, and Notts County at Kenilworth Road. The pictures are from Anglia Television. The commentator's Jerry Harrison. I'm sorry about the shirt clash if you're watching in black and white. Luton are attacking the goal to your right.
Mayer. Nicely into Masson. Mayer going for the return. Nice ball. Hill tackles. The mud comes up. And Mayer almost getting one inside Ricky Hill there. Fine pass from Masson. And if he's allowed to do that, then he could cause trouble. But could well be trouble for Luton here, because it's a free kick with Stubbs and Blockley coming up, with Christie starting a run towards the near post, over Christie's head, and put it. Well, Christie looks as if he was going to get hold of that one. Christie, it wasn't the one who scored it. The short one wasn't well organised, but nobody coming to challenge it. Christie couldn't get it, and tucked in there past goalkeeper Finlay. Back to Saxby, and straight to the Notts players, and Christie's going to get this one. Good goalkeeping by Saxby, and then hooked away as it ran free by Finlay, rather. Well, Christie was very close to getting that one. Finlay got him off the hook. Christie coming in on this one, and see how fast Finlay comes off his line, but it looks as if he was through. And then it's hooked away by Saxby. Grealish has gone for West on the left. Steen is through the middle. It's a good ball. Benjamin stays with him. Here's Hatton now. He's in a good position. Great goalkeeping. Hatton again, and off for another corner. Great play by both sides. Excellent build-up by Luton. And the final finish not quite there. As the ball went through to Steen, it's touched on to Bob Hatton. He gets a good shot in, but see how fast the goalkeeper comes off his line. Stevens looking for a man to pass to, or throw it to, but the covering by Notts County is good. Now Grealish is going to get away here. And it's going to come to West. Finds Mosswell. Benjamin over quickly. And a tricky cross. Tucked over the top when he was looked to be in trouble, floating towards the top of the goal area, and indeed he applauds the opponent. Moss, seeing the goalkeeper coming off his line, goes for the top corner and just touched over. West. Benjamin's challenge, Masson again, foul, and a free kick from a situation almost identically as far as the spot is concerned, from which Notts County scored in the 3rd minute. But meanwhile, we're going to have a delay while there is a substitution. It's McCulloch who's coming off, Doherty coming on, so one midfield player really for another. Moss the kick, a tricky one, a brilliant header. Saxby the scorer. A pinpoint cross from Moss, the very same spot from which Masson put his over. It wasn't White who got it, it was Saxby. And that's 1-1. Here's the kick again. David Moss. The big centre-half is up there. And in she goes. There's a push there by O'Brien. That's a free kick. Well, Luton throwing everything into this to try and rescue this miserable home form. Price turning it up for West. Tricky one here. Hatton. Brilliant! Bob Hatton's done it. 2-1. The tide has suddenly turned in favour of Luton Town. That was a great piece of play. They kept their patience. How's this for a turn when it comes back from White? And the goalkeeper really didn't see it.
2 goals in the last 12 minutes there for Luton, and incidentally the own goal right at the start was by the Luton defender Mal Donaghy. But now it's time for our special feature where we look at events in football that happened 10 years ago this month. For example, in this very week 10 years ago, in 1970, Spurs lost an FA Cup replay away to Crystal Palace, and manager Bill Nicholson promptly dropped 4 key men for the next home match, and by coincidence, just as it was yesterday, their opponents at White Hart Lane were Southampton. The men who were dropped, incidentally, were Cyril Knowles, Alan Gilzean, they used to call him the King of White Hart Lane, Joe Kinnear, and the one that caused most comment of all, though, Jimmy Greaves. There was also no place for a youngster called Steve Perryman, but Bill Nicholson confirmed that he was only being rested. Perryman is a part of Tottenham's future, said the manager. Well, Bill Nicholson was absolutely right there. You might be interested to know the result of that Spurs v Southampton match in 1970. It was 1-0 to Southampton. I'm not going to tell you what the result was yesterday. You can find out for yourself a little later on. And still on the subject of Southampton, Terry Payne. Well, he equalled the club's scoring record of 188 goals when he scored in a 4-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Mick Shannon has now beaten that record, of course. And talking about goal-scoring records in 1970, Geoff Hurst broke the West Ham scoring record with goal 154. Came from the penalty spot in a 3-1 defeat against Coventry City. There was news in February 1970 that the England manager Sir Alf Ramsey had been offered what was then a breathtaking £10,000 a year to manage the Portuguese club Benfica. But Sir Alf said, "I shall not go abroad. I'm an Englishman and English football is my life." It's a bit sad really when you think about it in 1980 that there's still no place in English club football for Sir Alf. In February 1970, Peter Osgood, who'd scored 2 hat-tricks in that month for Chelsea, also made his first appearance for England in a match against Belgium in Brussels. England won 3-1. Meanwhile, Osgood's Chelsea teammate, 18-year-old Alan Hudson, is selected for the England under-23 side against Scotland. And another flamboyant character was in the news in February 1970, George Best. He ended a 28-day suspension in time to play in a cup tie for Manchester United at Northampton. United won 8-2. Best scored 6 goals. And the man marking him was the Northampton fullback, Ray Fairfax, who said afterwards, "Why, oh why, did it have to happen to me? The only time I got close to him was when we went off at half-time and at full-time." Well, you'll see what he means now. Manchester United are in the dark shirts.
Dixie McNeil. Yeah. Ferren forward for Kidd. In the middle is Morgan and Best. Book could lose it, it's Best! Georgie Best! Good jump then by Dave Sadler. Ferren through for Best. Here he goes again. Georgie Best! Charlton feeding Kidd. Best free in the middle. Willie Morgan coming over to help Kidd now. And a chance for Best. Here's the hat-trick. There it is eventually. Well, well, well. Georgie Best makes it a hat-trick. Brian Kidd. Saver then was Brooks. Kidd again. Here's Best. Number 4. Georgie Best, just the tiniest touch. Touch for Kidd. Brian Kidd. Best going through the middle. He's on for 5. There it is. And what a difference this man makes to any front line. There's George Best. 2 Burns. Has Kidd forward on the far side of 2 unmarked men. One of them is Willie Morgan, who should get another goal here. No, Kidd does. Number 4 running is Clark. That's a good ball. There's Large. And now Dixie McNeil. It's there.
Dixie Manille gets one back.
Kid who's twice been down with an injury is Crerand. Best. Here's the record. There it is. Georgie Best sets a new scoring record for Manchester United. 6 goals in a game. As Kiernan moves in on 4-5 defenders, United defenders. Fairbrother. Cross ball, Large going in, and he's got it. Frank Large.
But even George Best, in such magical form, couldn't get Manchester United to Wembley that year. That year, the cup was won by Chelsea. Also 10 years ago this month, there was a young man that few had heard of, named Kevin Keegan, playing in a cup game for Scunthorpe United away to Swindon. There he is, coming in from the right of the picture there. Sadly for Kevin, though, Scunthorpe were beaten 3-1. But at least the young man, who by the end of the decade was to become European Footballer of the Year, played a small part in the Scunthorpe goal that day against Swindon.
Keegan. This is Deere. He's got Kerr outside, gives it him. Good pass. Fine move this. Chance for Cassidy. Great chance. It's there. Cassidy has scored. Scunthorpe United have taken the lead.
Kevin Keegan, 1970 style. And while we're looking back on days gone by, I thought you might be interested in this old Crystal Palace programme sent to me by Mr. S.J. Whiting of 17 Stubbs Hill, Dorking in Surrey, on the question of raising finance for buying new players. This, remember, is in September 1946. The Palace fans have been invited to spend either 1 and 3pence or 1 and 6pence to watch home games. And for those who paid 1 and 6pence, well, the directors wish to thank all those spectators attending who paid the 3pence extra, which money will be used exclusively for the purchase of new players. And a total, to the date, £98 and 6pence. And I suppose for that these days, you'd maybe just to get about 3 pairs of boots and not much more. Our last match today is Spurs against Southampton from White Hart Lane. I tell you, they were still getting their breath back there after that amazing cup tie against Swindon in midweek, when Spurs scored twice in the last 6 minutes to beat Swindon. There was almost an air of carnival and celebration there yesterday, to the point that a team of parachutists came dropping in. To the amusement of the crowd, this is somewhat half an hour before the kick-off. And indeed, one of them that came skidding in a moment or two after this actually had the match ball with him. There he is in the bag there. I tell you, it couldn't have been an easy job, because there was quite a blustery wind around North London, and this gentleman here, he didn't quite make it, in fact, as you'll see in a moment. Disappearing heaven knows where, but certainly not at White Hart Lane. He disappears outside the ground there somewhere. All this then a preliminary to the arrival of the teams. And first of all, here are the home team Spurs. Spurs take the field. One of their former stars, Jimmy Greaves, a guest here today with his wife Irene. In fact, he's also doing a bit of work, because ATV are making a full-length documentary on him, to be shown on ITV later this month. The Spurs side then, it's bad news that Steve Perryman, who injured a knee when he saved a certain own goal on Wednesday night, he's out. Ricardo Villa is also out injured, but Terry Yorath returns after flu. Terry Naylor replaces Perryman, and Peter Taylor is in the number 11 shirt in place of Villa. Meanwhile, Southampton, they're unchanged. It's the side that beat Manchester City 4-1 in the last game. They didn't play last week, incidentally. The absentees still are Steve Williams, who's got a troublesome stomach injury, and David Peach, who gets a game in the Southampton reserves today after a long layoff through injury. The referee is Reg Robinson of Woodbridge, and we're going to join the game now in the first half. Hoddle. Naylor. Glenn Hoddle again for Tottenham. Yorath. Houghton's made a run down the right. And a very good piece of play indeed by the young fullback. And the extraordinary thing was that Yorath, without looking, seemed to know that he was making that run. In for Hoddle. Played on for Naylor. Little touch there for Taylor. Trying to go straight through Hibbert. Here's Houghton, though. Pratt. Houghton's continued down that left. Pratt playing it in first time, but nobody up there in a threatening position. Waldron's header didn't get a lot of ground. Hoddle with the shot. And a goal kick. With 20 minutes gone, neither defence has had yet the slightest scare. Ardiles. John Pratt. Armstrong. Played in nicely there for Ardiles. Pratt playing it on for Hoddle. Dumped there by Holmes. And a free kick to Tottenham. And a couple of signs and a bit of frustration from Peter Taylor. And then the little chip coming in there. And Southampton could so easily have been. Alan Ball is going absolutely crazy with his defence there. And quite rightly too. I'm sure Laurie McMenemy, who was here on Wednesday, would have spotted the danger there, and that was the identical position from which Jerry Armstrong scored the winner against Swindon, and again it was a Peter Taylor free kick. And Armstrong was allowed to go absolutely free, but didn't get a touch with his head. Shannon and McAllister. And a foul on Shannon, giving a free kick to Southampton, which they've already taken. Ball coming in there, Hibbert trying to get a header in there, but a good piece of play by Naylor. Got it away for Tottenham, only as far here as Watson. Trying to force his way through physically, and a foul against the Southampton defender. Just when it looked as though Southampton might be making a useful situation there for themselves. As it is, it's a free kick which Ball has now taken here for Waldron. Driven in there and pushed away well by Barry Daines. Holmes turning it back again. If the big men are up, it could be trouble. Baker with a shot through a crowd of players, but hitting a Spurs defender and getting it away. And here's Taylor. Past one, now faced by Golan. For a moment, there might have been another corner given away by Ivan Gorak, but this time it was more accurately played to the goalkeeper, Peter Wells. Boyer, short touch there for Baker. Here's Holmes, this could be trouble for Tottenham. The shot by Holmes, and it hits Barry Daines on the left foot. Good swift break that by Southampton, and Holmes always dangerous when he gets it on the left foot. In the end, he hit the left foot of Barry Daines. Headed on by Shannon for Baker. Heading there towards Holmes, and this could be it. Holmes, and again hitting the left foot of Daines. Well, that's twice in about 90 seconds. Nick Holmes has been right through there. And twice it's been the left boot of Barry Daines that has denied him a chance of putting Southampton into the lead. Watson's header. And now Golan. Baker. Shannon challenged really firmly there by Houghton. Yorath, a good ball played here for Naylor. Played in again for Hoddle, right up there amongst the front men. Now, can Hoddle do something here? What a lovely bit of skill, and how near to being a really brilliant goal. Getting applause from his own teammates, and quite rightly so, when he took that ball from Naylor and took it on his chest, and the angle was always an awkward one, but somehow he still got a little lob floated in there, just beyond the far post. Watson heading it down quite comfortably there for Nicol. Ball, Golak. Played forward again towards Boyer. Ball joining in the attack again. Shannon after this one. Naylor got a head to it though. And McAllister after this one, a free kick to Tottenham. Naylor's taken. Taylor onside. Now, is this the chance for Spurs? Punched away well by Peter Wells. Southampton caught out a little there, the speed with which Spurs got that move going. And Wells equal to Taylor's shot. It's really pouring with rain now. It's Hoddle. And now Yorath. Played wide for Houghton. Ardiles. Oh, and Houghton going on his way across the goal there, but in fact it was cut out well there by Watson. And in fact the heavy rain that's falling now is going to just make that top a little bit greasy and could in fact quicken the pace in this game. If you would like to apply for that job, I can surely give you the address. Taylor. Shannon. Chris Neville's gone into the 6-yard area. They waited for him to get there. That could so easily have gone Southampton's way as well. Here's Golak coming in. Yora thought he was going to cross it straight away, but Golak had other ideas. That's a good cross when it did come in towards Boyer. Holmes with a shot, and he's wide with his. That's taken off him by Boyer. Now Golak. Wall. Golak again. Taylor's heading. Nicely guided there for Pratt. Taylor taking it back again. A lot of space on the right for Hull. Callister going outside him as well. Still with Hoddle though. Played for Yorath. Wide here for Jerry Armstrong, but it wasn't a good one. And a chance now for Southampton to make a break with Hibbert. Hibbert going on his own, and he might get all the way to try a shot, hitting Barry Daines once again. And Spurs are saved once more. It looked as though Shannon might have been in an offside position, and Hibbert may have suspected that himself. Made all the running and got in the shot. Shannon is offside. That's 2 in the first half. He saved with his left foot, and that was something around the knees, I would have thought, by Barry Daines. Reactions, though. Armstrong. Over the top. Well, Spurs, as a man in defence, came springing forward, catching Southampton offside. Naylor, but cut out again by Southampton, and it's Malcolm Waldron playing it here for Boyer. "20 minutes to go. Hibbert's backward header towards Boyer, over the top. Boyer thought it was a corner. Reg Robertson, the referee, pointing quite firmly to the edge of the 6-yard area that it's a goal kick. That's played on beautifully by Hoddle for Peter Taylor. And right across the face of that goal. And it's Graham Baker, in fact, who turns it away. Just a trace possibly of offside there as Peter Taylor turned that ball in. Skidding across that goal.
to Wells. Holmes losing touch. Now Ardiles from Europe. Hoddle trying to get it into Ardiles' path again. And here comes Southampton with Hibbert, a long-range shot. Surely no problem there for Danes. Shannon, free kick. Ball to Baker. He really does battle for a ball like that. Oh, given away by Yorath now for Shannon. They've got a few up, but they've got a free kick. Ball with it. Referee wasn't ready for it. Will Southampton get another go? Cross there towards Nicol, just over the top. Ardiles. Armstrong. Did well there. Ardiles. That was a good, actually that was a very good piece of refereeing there. There was no intention there on Chris Nichols' part as Ardiles fell, and Boyer getting involved in there, and there's some punching and fighting going in there between the Spurs players. Boyer was right in the middle of it. Golak got involved in it as well. Shannon with a big smile on his face also. All beginning out of frustration, perhaps more than anything else. But certainly, yes, Phil Boyer and John Pratt, a couple of battering rams there. My word, that was really an explosive moment on what's been a pretty grey old afternoon. What's Reg Robinson going to do? I mean, that really is an occasion when a referee, I think, wants about 12 pairs of eyes. And I think maybe in the end, he's going to let things simmer down. Drop the ball. Behave like men, and for goodness sake, get on with it. But it certainly might mean that he's got to have his eyes about him even more so in the 5 minutes that remain. Say that he should have been brandishing a few cards and one thing and another, but who was guilty and who was not guilty, I'm not sure, and maybe in the end he came to the right decision. I'm sure he did. Not the most memorable days at White Hart Lane. I think Peter Wells in the Southampton goal had one serious shot to save and Barry Danes 3 in the other end. It's the sort of afternoon it was, and it finished in a goalless draw. But to be fair, it was a very good point for Southampton, now in third position, 5 points behind Liverpool and Manchester United though, but still very much on course for a place in Europe. And one old goal scorer, I'm sure, was shaking his head at what might have been Jimmy Greaves, one of the best-loved Tottenham players since the war, now a columnist in the Sun newspaper and the subject of a coming documentary on ITV. What does Jimmy think of the present Spurs side?
The present Spurs side, well, frankly, the way they play at times worries me a little bit. They play the offside game a little bit too much for my liking. They're a bit square at the back. Up front, we know that they're not scoring goals, but this can come. But of course, on their day, and I've seen them on their day, they're capable of beating any side in the First Division. And one would hope, I mean, obviously, I'm still a Spurs fan, my heart's still with the club, although I have to stay neutral, I'll try to. I'd like to see them at Wembley, obviously, and I think they've got a very good chance.
Do your feet itch a little bit when you see them play out there?
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, you know, you're in a situation now, Brian, where I sit there every game and I score 6 goals. 3 for each side. Yes. You can't foul. I mean, it's beautiful. Yes. I mean, you're in a great position.
Yes. Tell me about this documentary that's being made about you now by ATV.
Well, the ATV documentary is basically based on my book. This one's on me, and
Tell me about that. Tell me about that.
Well, we've taken my life story basically from the early Chelsea days right the way through to my problem that I had with drinking several years ago up until the present day. And it brings in all the players and everybody who I've been connected with in football, and it gives my life story, tracing it through the football and the drinking problem up until as we sit here today, basically.
And I think anybody watching will be glad to say you conquered that problem now.
Well, one never conquers the problem. It's a problem that I live with on a day-to-day basis, and hopefully, having done so for a long period of time now, I hope to continue doing it, because basically it's nice to be back in the land of the living and enjoying watching football and meeting all my old associates, including yourself again.
Good, that's nice of you to say that. And in fact, you're doing this column for The Sun. What else are you doing with your life now, Jim?
Well, I do several things. I'm tied up with an up-and-over garage door firm down at Swindon, and I do life insurance and pensions with Abbey Life. So I keep myself very busy, Brian. Very busy indeed.
It's lovely to see you again.
And you, mate.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Jimmy Greaves, who else? Well, that's it for this week. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll have more action for you on the big match next week. Pity that game at Tottenham wasn't quite the spectacle we'd all hoped for, but at least there were one or two moments, like Mickey Shannon coming out to the game, knowing that his horse, Man on the Run, was running at that very moment in the 2:45 at Stratford. Still running, yes, Mick, because I'd promised to signal him the result of that race from our television gantry. But sadly, the news that eventually I had to give him wasn't the news that Mick Shannon wanted. The horse had finished nowhere. And that wasn't the only frustration we saw yesterday either.